Hi, this is Dr. Kerry Johnson. We've been meeting week by week for the last 4 or 5 weeks during this crisis, and this is just one more installment of our market update. A couple of things. Number one, the things that are really important for you right now is to make 5 RPCs every day. I know that Marlene's team is scheduling appointments for you. I know that you are likely to have to book one on your own, but we've got to get 5 RPCs every day. The great news is you're getting better and better at RPCs. Our holy grail of success is 38%. I'm always saying hit 30%. You're doing a good job listening when you can hit 38%. If you're not hitting 38%, it's because you're pitching, you're doing short shrift on doing the market update, you're not asking how they feel. All the things that you know are critical to be able to make those 3-month scripted RPC phone calls we're making right now. Secondly, don't forget on the market updates, talk about 3 talking points only. 3 talking points. It doesn't mean you have to do it rapidly. You could develop them, but a really great way of staying organized is exactly what I do with you. Number 1 is blank. Number 2 is blank. And just say it to them like that. They have to stay organized. They can't get confused. You have to be simple and talk to them in their language. And number 3, now's the time to segue to referrals. With clients, it's important to use 3 sentences. Number 1, I really enjoy, here it is again, 1, 2, 3. Number 1, I really enjoy working with you. Number 2, 83% of your friends and family are really in trouble. Many are going to be totally dependent on Social Security sometime during their lives. It's very scary. Number 3, who do you know who could benefit from some of the things we've done together? So don't forget referrals, and don't forget 3 talking points, and make your 5 RPCs every day. You're doing a great job if you hit 38%. If you're not hitting 30%, practice, practice, practice. Okay, so here are our talking points for this week. Number 1, there are 22 million jobs lost so far as of when the report came out last Thursday. 22 million jobs. You know, President Trump always says that there are 160 million people working. I think it's less than that. During Obama's reign, if you will, it was 110 million people. So let's say 120. That's right about 20% of the population. The working population is out of work currently. This is one of the reasons why you're seeing these protests around the country to open the economy back up. Number 2, 25% of small businesses have closed permanently or are contemplating closing. I talked about this last week also, but it's even more apparent right now. The PPP thing that supports small businesses as long as they keep their employees is very successful, but the money is being stalled and people just can't wait that long. A lot of businesses are saying, if I don't get the money immediately like last week, I have to close this week. They just don't have any cushion. And number 3, you're seeing the stock market bounce. What that means is we're seeing the market goes up 700 points, it goes down 300 points, up 500 points. You see that during a very volatile period, which we're in right now. That basically means the market is keep testing the bottom, keep wanting to test where the bottom is. The bounce is really, though, only limited to 2 sectors. Number 1 is tech, Zoom, Microsoft, internet companies, and number 2 is healthcare. Healthcare is being buoyed right now by the government paying for these COVID-19 cases. Most hospitals are having a very difficult time. They can't do elective surgeries, but the government is paying for any COVID-19, which is one of the reasons why we're seeing so many deaths that are comorbidity, people that have heart problems, maybe they have infections, maybe they have diabetes, and they die with COVID-19, and they're listed as COVID-19 deaths because they get compensated by the government for treating those kind of people. Little inside baseball there. So there's 3 stages of a bear market. Number one is this cascading decline. What that basically means is when the market goes down in a whoop, it just kind of this V, sort of this straight down look where it just scares everybody to death. Number two is what we call a sideways whiplash. Now that whiplash goes down and up and down and up, but you're going to see a heck of a lot of volatility as the market tries to find out where this bottom is. And number three, the market will retest the March 23 lows. It might go lower than that for a period of time, but we kind of think that could have been a low, and you're going to see a lot of people short selling try to find out where that low is. And that's the problem with what we're going through right now is nobody really knows where the low is. Now, recovery, when you've got somebody who says it'll come back, it'll be no problem, yeah, that might be true. It could take another 3 to 4 months before the market finds its low. It may find the low and retest that, start going up by Christmas. But how long will it take to get back to where it was? That's the real question. I keep saying in 2008 it took about 8 to 10 years to get back to where it was. And the dot-com crisis of 2000, it took 12 years. The depression in 1929 took 14 years. You really don't know how long it's going to take to get. It's what the government does. Do they put more spending in? Do they kind of depress the market? Does it not recover as fast? Now, a couple more things I want you to know. There's 3 phases of this government businesses opening back up. Phase 1 can happen whenever the state has 14 days of decrease in COVID-19 sicknesses. 14 days. And that, by the way, will take about a month. Phase 2 is when stores will start to open. They'll still have to practice social distancing. Maybe restaurants open, but a restaurant of 150 people might be limited to only have 25 people. Home Depot, where we were at today, had people outside. They let one person in, and you can't congregate. And that's kind of a pre-phase 1. But we're going to see a little bit more of that social distancing. But it will open up. More businesses will open up. And phase 3, which is likely to happen 2 months after phase 1 of phase 2, is going to be the at-risk people, the people over 65 with comorbidity. They have heart problems, diabetes, underlying illnesses. They'll be able to get back, but they'll have to wear masks. They'll have to have social distancing, but they will be allowed to engage. So all this is likely to happen with phase 1, 1 month, phase 2, 2 months, phase 3 months, and you're going to see that kind of a rollout. Now, here's the thing. Your business has changed permanently. As I've said before, between 10 and 25% of the people that you communicate with now are going to want to do it via web, telephone. They won't want to see anybody. They're just kind of terrified, which is really good for you. It's good because now we don't have to drive 3 hours to go see somebody. We don't have to drive 4 hours to go meet with somebody, and that's good. That's good. So use these talking points. Don't forget referrals. Don't forget the things I mentioned about the 22 million job losses, 25, and the bounce back limited to sectors. And be informed, because when you make your phone calls, your talking points, it's really important right now that you're able to engage with people. And all we're trying to do right now is try to engage enough to ask how they feel, so that they tell us what their worries are, so then we can go through the 5-step bridge. Okay? Make your phone calls, 5 RPCs every day this week, and I know you're going to have a really successful week.